Over a series of 3 weeks, through my simple wisdom reflections that I've been sharing with you either through email or on, you might be seeing them on my website, brianplachta.com. I've been sharing with you what you might say under the umbrella of how do I directly experience God? How do I deepen a relationship with the divine as I understand it? And what we looked at over these past 3 weeks are three things. One is the ego, how the false self that we've created, our mind-made self, is a block to understanding who we are. It's really the cause of that monkey mind that goes back and forth and causes us to sometimes think we're Napoleon and we're Superman or Superwoman, or also confuses us into not knowing who we are. So the first concept we looked at under the simple reflection is how to quiet your ego and empower your divine nature is an important piece of recognizing and awakening to the second piece that we talked about in the next week's reflection on your divine nature. We're not our ego, we learned in the first reflection. We are in the second reflection that I shared. We are the divine nature, the pure essence of God in our human form. And as we discover who we are, that we are the essence of God's love, we are good, we are made in the image and likeness of God, we learn to like who we are. We learn to open our hearts and our minds to the truth of who we are and why we're here on this planet. And then the third part of that reflection that we shared was how do we connect with the inner teacher, you might call it, the Holy Spirit. And in that, we talked about how to let your inner teacher become your lifelong guide. In that reflection, we talked about the fact that each of us has been given a voice of wisdom, an inner voice of love that we can experience through the quiet times in our lives, that provides us with affirmation of who we are, that gives us directions on how to live our lives to become the best life, the best version of ourselves, to live our best life. So I invite you to look at those three concepts that we unpacked through this series. One is the ego, how to quiet your ego and empower your divine nature. The second is divine nature, how to discover who you are and like it. And the third is how to let your inner teacher become your lifelong guide. These three concepts, I believe, are kind of the basis, the foundation of deepening our relationship with our true self and with God as God created you and me in our own unique ways. I would invite you to maybe go back and look at those three reflections. If you'd like, print them out and take a peek at them from time to time. And also see them maybe as God nudges to go deeper in your relationship with God. You know, God's always moving us to our highest good, always helping us become the best version of ourselves. And as we open our hearts and minds to deepening our relationship with that divine spirit that lives and breathes in and through each one of us, we discover inner peace, balance, and wholeness. So I would invite you to look at those, but also I would invite you to maybe take a look at some spiritual reading. Ask the Creator, God, the divine, to show you a book or a series of podcasts that God kind of puts in your pathway to help you grow and learn more about these concepts, learn more about who you are in God. One of the things that you're welcome to take a peek at, I wrote a book recently called Divine Flow, Finding Flow, Spiritual Practices to Reclaim Inner Peace, Balance, and Wholeness. And that book outlines 4 spiritual practices that you can integrate into your life, including quiet time, spiritual reading, finding a life-inspiring community that helps you become the best version of yourself, and discovering your spiritual gifts. You can pick up a copy of Finding Flow, Spiritual Practices to Reclaim Inner Peace, Balance, and Wholeness on Amazon or on Paula's Press website. If that book speaks to you, I invite you to read it, integrate those practices into your life, and allow this series of reflections that we've been experiencing over the past several weeks on the ego, your divine nature, and your inner teacher to become a pathway to inner peace, balance, and wholeness, to living the life and finding your purpose in life, which is to live a life of love and allow others to experience love through you and the way that you love and empower them. God bless you. Take care.